when you have triangles, you can classify them, which means to name them. And you can name them by two things. You can name them by the angles, and you can name them by the sides. So when you name them by the angles, there are four different vocab words you need to know. So this is called equiangular. Think about equi, meaning equal, and then angular, meaning angles. So it means an equiangular triangle is a triangle where all three interior angles equal in measurement. So guess what? They all have to be 60, because 60 plus 60 plus 60 equals 180. So if you see a special triangle like this, it could be considered acute because all the angles are smaller than 90. But again, if they're all the same, they're going to be equiangular. Okay, so that leads us to acute, meaning all angles are less than 90 degrees. And then a right triangle would obviously be a triangle that has one right angle. And then an obtuse angle is where one of the angles is obtuse. Okay, so you can't have all of them. You just need one angle to be obtuse. Okay, so there's the four ways you can name something by their angle. And then if we move on, we can also name them by their sides. So equilateral comes from equi, meaning equal, and then lateral, meaning sides. So equilateral triangle is a triangle where all three sides are the same. So they'll give you these little tick marks to represent that they are congruent. And notice it's also going to be equiangular. Okay, so equilateral and equiangular mean the same thing, except one deals with sides, one deals with angles. The other example is isosceles, and that's where two sides are congruent. So they'll give you these little angle marks right here. And we'll dig deeper into isosceles tomorrow. And then scalene is they're all on equal sides. Okay, so no side is the same. Okie doke, so that's how you name them. So why don't we look at some practice? So I've got A, B, C, and D. I want you to classify them by their angles. So give me one word, vocab word for that, and then give me one vocab word for sides. Okay, so try those, press pause, and then we will go over them. So for part A, I noticed that they were all 60, which means it's equiangular, and then all sides were the same, so it was equilateral as well. So equiangular, equilateral triangle. On part B, I noticed I had an obtuse angle, so that's an obtuse, and then all sides were different, so scalene. On part C, I noticed it was isosceles, and then I noticed all these angles were smaller than 90, so it'd be an acute angle. And then lastly, I've got a right angle, so a right triangle, and then all sides were different, so scalene. Okay.